The 250-mile drive from Camden, New Jersey to Syracuse takes about 4 hours. And you can expect Coach Brown and some of the nation's top recruits to make that trip often in the coming years. Hey, Michael. Well, the Crunch and the Amherst, about as big of a rivalry as you get in AHL hockey, and that was pretty clear here in Rochester tonight. This was a physical, intense game that saw the Crunch come out on top and punch their ticket to the North Division Finals.
First spring football practice, Ash.
Yeah, Tommy, Fran Brown's first official practice as head coach, and we saw some familiar faces that we haven't seen in a while, but the focus, I would say, was really on a whole bunch of new faces. It seems like every day there's news out of SU football that makes you stop in your tracks and ask, is this really happening? Well, yes, Orange fans, it's really happening. March Madness is on the line here tonight at Cotterell Court in Hamilton. Colgate men's basketball looking for its 4th consecutive Patriot League championship. They're warming up right behind me. I think with a guy like Alonso, he is a first baseman, obviously has been since he came up. I think likely he turns into a DH at some point here along the line as he continues to get older. Do I think he's past his prime? I don't know. Do I think he's past hitting for average and that type of stuff? Not that he ever really hit for average, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he maybe going to live in that 220 realm and still put up 40 home runs a year? I think that's possible. And I think what I also saw from a lot of Mets fans on Twitter is he wants like Lindor type of money. I don't know if he's worth Lindor type of money. How excited are you to get a close-up view to celebrating Boeheim's legacy?
I'm really excited. I'm mainly excited to be able to affect the game.
So since it's Sunday, we're going to have a little fun and do something I like to call a recruiting roundup. King Joseph Edwards is a 4-star edge from Georgia that's currently uncommitted, but has a ton of offers from SEC and Big Ten schools. He was posting pictures of the visit all weekend on his Twitter and Instagram accounts, including that one. Many of Syracuse football's newest recruits are enrolling this week and are already on campus, gearing up to make a splash on the field this fall. They're already making a splash off the fields in the local community. What is the limit for Fran Brown? I mean, the guy's here for not even a month, and he has a top 15 transfer class. Like, truly, the sky seems to be the limit for him. So what now that he has sent this message to these schools in the South is the limit? And it's like you said, people, even when he got hired, everybody was like, oh, this coach is from Georgia, he has experience. But then a lot of fans were, and I don't blame them, very hesitant to be like, well, this isn't Georgia, this isn't Baylor. You know, it's harder to recruit kids at Syracuse, but he's shown that it truly doesn't matter the school if these kids trust and believe in the coaching staff. In just 2 months, head coach Fran Brown has brought in the best modern recruiting class that Syracuse football has ever seen. That's in large part thanks to his extensive ties in the Northeast, especially in his home state.
Once you get out, you know what I mean, you're not leaving, but once you get out and experience other things, you know that your road was probably a little tougher than everybody else's.
In the shadows of Philadelphia, just over the Ben Franklin Bridge, lies Camden, New Jersey. Once called one of the poorest and most dangerous cities in America, Camden is working to rise above its past reputation. It's also becoming known as a high school football hotbed and is the city that raised Fran Brown.
There's times where he'll call me up, like, yo, what's up, man? How's your wife? How's the kids? How's everybody doing? And I'm like, so what'd you need? Did you want to talk about something? No, I was just checking on you, that's all. And then there's times where it's like, yo, Marcus, man, I got to get in this touch with this guy. Can you do this? All right, cool, I'll call you back. Boom, and hang up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball. Score.
Marcus Hammond has known Francis, as many in Camden call him, since childhood. He's developed SU stars like LaQuint Allen and Deuce Chestnut, working to cultivate the young talent that Brown wants on his team.
I feel like our region is the best region in the country when it comes to football players. The talent is here, and I feel like once coaches spend enough time here, they find kids that may not be a 5-star, may not be a 4-star, but will develop into an NFL player.
Josh Friedman, a former sports reporter at the Camden Courier-Post, says that Brown tapped this region long before landing in the 315.
I can't tell you how many kids I've talked to in South Jersey over the years. They'll mention wherever Fran was, Baylor, Temple, Rutgers. And, it was like, I wish he was a little somewhere better because I want to play for Fran.
The moment that Fran was going to become a head coach, I knew that this area would be a focal point for him.
Of SU's 33 commits in the 24 class, 15 hail from New Jersey or neighboring Philadelphia, and 5 grew up right in Camden. Friedman has seen schools like Penn State and Rutgers dominate the area for years, but now believes Brown is building a pipeline up I-81.
He's going to own the Northeast. I think he and Elijah Robinson, don't forget him, another great recruiter, another Camden guy, they're going to be high on everyone on this because those two guys people want to play for.
Class of 2026 recruit Samaj Beals agrees.
It feels like home. It's like home to Jersey guys. It's like Jersey U. That's where a lot of Jersey guys are going to go.
And Hammond says his athletes want to play for Fran Brown for one reason.
He's honest. Not everybody's honest. And he keeps it real with you. He relates to the kids.
He relates in part because of Camden, where Brown's former coach Rob Hinson says football provides valuable opportunity.
So all of us kind of look at not football as the only way out, but it's definitely a way, you know what I mean, for us to kind of get out and bet ourselves and kind of level the playing field.
2, 3, be great.
And the class of 2024 appears to be just the beginning of the nation's top recruiter recruiting his own from Camden to Cuse. In studio, I'm Ashley Wenskoski.
It was a really different off-season for her. She couldn't pitch until late February, March.
Bella Mondello didn't throw a pitch this winter until just weeks before the Marcellus softball season began. After a breakout junior year on the mound, Mondello underwent shoulder surgery this fall and wasn't sure if she would be fully recovered for her senior season.
So I have surprised myself. I honestly didn't realize I'd be able to get back so fast, but with PT and just rehab and everything, I was able to get back.
She's back to her old self and then some, mowing down opposing hitters throughout Section 3. Last month, she threw a no-hitter against Cazenovia that included 17 strikeouts, a game she says helped really get her confidence back.
It was very special to me, especially because of the surgery.
She's given up just 9 earned runs over 66 innings pitched this year and is a threat at the plate as well, leading the Mustangs to be one of the best Class B teams in the state.
We know that when Bella's on the mound, we're going to be in any game we're in. And then, you know, some icing on the cake, she hits the ball over the fence and helps herself offensively. We'll take that too.
Mondello will take her talents on the diamond over to Utica next year, where she'll play for the SUNY Polytechnic Institute. But she leaves a legacy as a Mustang that won't soon be forgotten.
She's ready to go off to college and move on to the next level and make us in Marcellus proud.
In Marcellus, I'm Ashley Wenskoski. The Dome was Dino Babers' house for nearly 8 seasons. 8 years is a long time, and it's an eternity in Power 5 college football. 8 years full of motivational speeches, smiles, and sayings from a man who made Syracuse football into his Ohana. It was an era filled with some very high highs and some even lower lows.
Today, around 3:30 in the morning, a.m., I got fired up and got out here and started moving around. It was good to be back on the football field. I think everybody's got that attitude right now.
We're only as good as our offensive line on offense. We're only as good as our defensive line on defense. And the hippos and the elephants, when those guys grow up and they start ruling the jungle on the land and the jungle in the water, then you've got a chance to make some headwaves.
One look at the numbers shows why it was time to move on.
I think the entire team was behind him. I think even the community's behind him. But like I say, the end result is you want to have a winner. And
I like the guy. I always did. I supported him. I thought he was a wonderful man, but it's time. That's plain and simple.
Smiles can't buy wins. There just were never enough wins to save his job. But Babers will be remembered for bleeding SU orange for 8 seasons. And though all of his promise only ever ended in moments, they were moments this community won't soon forget. In Syracuse, I'm Ashley Wenskoski. One of just 16. It's a very exclusive club, one that Deasia Fair just became a part of. One of 16 women to score 3,000 points at the Division I level. It's an accomplishment the 5'4" point guard could never have dreamed of after going largely unrecruited in high school.
Everyone doubted me. Everyone doubted my size. Everyone doubted me entirely because of how small I am, but I've always said I didn't care and just here I am.
She's done it all under the guidance of Felicia Leggett-Jack. FLJ was her coach at Buffalo for 3 years before convincing Fair to join her down the thruway when she was hired at Syracuse in 2022. Leggett-Jack recalls marveling at the lack of competition to recruit her.
Deasia wasn't recruited by a lot of people. I think it was Rochester Institute and us. There was nobody at her court. It was like, what in the world? Am I dreaming this?
Earlier this season, Coach Jack reflected on what it's meant to her to coach one of the best players in the country.
This means more than any basketball win that I could ever have, any kind of award that could ever come to me as an individual coach.
Fair is a Rochester native who considers herself blessed to have been able to play both stints of her college career close to her family. First, she was an hour west in Buffalo, then an hour east in Syracuse. Her father, Terrence, can be found in the front row of most SU home games.
She's blessed. We are blessed. I'm so proud of her.
As Fair keeps climbing the all-time leaderboards, the generational talent is also working on learning to celebrate herself, a mindset that comes from her pastor.
I went to church when we were home, and my pastor spoke to me, and he told me success, it sometimes get lonely, and he told me that no matter what, to just stop, it's okay to just like pat yourself on the back and celebrate yourself.
While her future beyond Syracuse remains uncertain, her legacy in an orange uniform is set in stone.
Deasia Fair, someone said that she was 5'4", and we forgot to measure her heart.